So, of course, we need to talk about Happy Days. As again, the portrayal of Happy Days, I think, was very, very timely when it got made because it brought back the values of American families and families overall and innocence and being a teenager. So, tell me, what was it like for you to be in that show for so many years and working with all these great and wonderful actors who, like you, ended up becoming Oscar-winning directors and Oscar-winning actors and continuing to work? What was it like?
Oh, wow. It was an amazing experience. We were doing a show about the 50s, and this was early 70s, 73. And, it was a pretty chaotic time, the Vietnam War, and then a lot of, protests going on. And I think they felt, the network, that doing a show hearkening back to a simpler time and where families were, like you brought up, were really important. The family unit and great values, and Gary Marshall, who created the show, we found out afterwards this was like his wheelhouse, as we have seen later on, and they just had a documentary about Gary on ABC, and they got into all this, and it was great to see that. But yeah, I mean, I wound up being in a show with such an amazing cast, like you mentioned, actors like Ron Howard, who had been in the business since he was 3.5, and he was already kind of like a star, but he didn't act like one. He was humble and so centered and set a great example for us so that we didn't get too big in the head, and Henry Winkler, Tom Bosley, who had won the Tony on Broadway, having done Fiorello, and and Marion Ross, such a talent, and Anson Williams and Erin Moran, of course. So it was amazing. And then having somebody like Gary Marshall, who was shepherding the show and guiding us, and wonderful writers, and one of the great comedic directors in television, period, Jerry Paris, who had directed most of the old Dick Van Dyke shows. And he was a force of nature. And so I feel very lucky and privileged that I got to be the center of all of this amazing group of people and learn from them and grow, during that period.